Okay, so the question is, underlying this discussion is the discourse of scarcity, right? So we must be prudent with our resources. At the same time, it's not just a discourse because Singapore is small, right? So there are obvious physical limitations. So how would you respond to the discourse of scarcity?
Yeah, you know, we are such a long way away from a kind of mindlessly spending and mindlessly generous welfare state that we really don't have. I don't think there are any legitimate reasons to worry about scarcity. I mean, again, I don't want to appear like I'm a kind of populist or making fun of people who are already having a hard time. But some years ago, so we don't need to name names, a policymaker, when pressed to raise the rates of Comcare social assistance. The younger ones in the audience may not remember, but I think the older ones will. The people asking if the rates of social assistance can be raised by $30, $60. I don't remember the details. Do search in Hansard. I'm not trying to fake you. Search in Hansard for yourselves. And his response to that was no. What do you mean it's not enough? Do you want to eat in a coffee shop, hawker center? What do you know? No, let me get this right. Hawker center, food court, or restaurant, right? We are talking about social assistance at the time. There was, I think, about a few $100s, and the push was to increase it by tens of dollars, and that was the response, right? So it is more a narrative. It has no basis in reality, right? That sort of assistance do not allow people who receive it to live the kind of lifestyles that is described in the very rhetorical and disingenuous response. We are very, very far away from that. I do think, of course, resources are important. All responsible governments must do the proper job of costing for social services, and that is the problem. Where is the costing for a different model of social welfare that is slightly more generous, a slightly larger social housing estate? You very rarely get very serious responses. When MPs in Parliament ask for social housing to be expanded and so on, you get a response is, oh, we are a small country and we must manage scarce resources, right? I think when we begin to hear serious answers with proper costing, right, people doing their due diligence before reporting back, then we can have this serious discussion about scarcity.
And I always feel like policy change is always impossible until it happens, right? And then the previous justifications all go out of the window, or people just forget to mention that, like, oh, you cannot increase tax until it's increased, right? And oh, you cannot have a minimum wage until you have the progressive wage model, right? You can always that, and usually there will always be some political development that causes a rethinking in the policy decision, right?